Tax planning and portfolio management may seem like two completely different things, but when they work together, they can create magic. Now, too often I see investment plans that ignore tax planning or tax plans that ignore investments. So if we can get these two components on the same page, we'll be laughing. Take Michael, for example. He's 61, retired, and currently receiving $9,600 per year in CPP. He also has $125,000 in his TFSA, $500,000 in his non-registered account, and $1.1 million in his RSP. He figures he spends about $5,500 per month, and he'd like that number to keep increasing throughout his retirement by inflation. With a sizable RSP, Michael is concerned about the amount of taxes he's going to have to pay on his death. So he'd like to put together an RRSP Meltdown strategy to reduce that tax liability so more money could go to his kids and eventual grandkids. On the investment side of things, Michael invests primarily in dividend stocks, and he expects to earn 6% per year in dividends with an additional 2% in growth for a total return of 8% per year. When looking at Michael's financial picture and putting together an RRSP Meltdown strategy, we decided to target a taxable income of $90,000 per year. So we'd have to factor in his CPP income, again of $9,600 per year, his dividend income that he's generating in his non-registered account, and then we would draw the difference from his RSP. Now, eventually, he will start receiving OAS, so that would be even less that we can draw from his RSPs, again, to hit that taxable income of $90,000 per year. Why $90,000? Well, once Michael begins receiving his old age security, we want to stay under the clawback threshold, because for every dollar that we're above the threshold, he's going to start losing 15 cents of his old age security. So in a sense, that's a 15% tax that we'd like to avoid. So as we can see, Michael is in no danger of running out of money in retirement. His accounts actually keep growing over time. When it comes to his registered accounts, we would love to be more aggressive and have those depleted even more. But again, we are hampered by that OAS clawback threshold that we don't want to go over. All right, we now have the tax side of things optimized, but how can we change Michael's portfolio to be even more efficient? So the issue that we're currently facing is that we're targeting a taxable income of $90,000 per year. So we have CPP income, again, of $9,600, plus we have dividend income coming from his non-registered portfolio. So again, using Michael's numbers and assuming a dividend return of 6% per year, on that $500,000 portfolio, that's going to be $30,000 a year that he's going to have to add as income. So that leaves us with just over $50,000 that we can draw from his RSPs every year, and it's going to be even less once we start receiving old age security. So because Michael's dividends are so high in his non-registered account, it's reducing the amount that we're able to draw from his RSPs to hit that $90,000 taxable income level. So in the long run, that's going to be more money that's stuck in those registered accounts and subject to the highest marginal tax bracket at death. So what can we do? Well, Michael's target return level for his portfolio is 8%. So is there a way that we can be more efficient with his investment portfolio while still targeting the same rate of return? Now, rather than targeting high dividend stocks in his non-registered accounts, he should target investments that have lower dividends but still have the same expected rate of return of 8%. So let's say that we build out a portfolio that targets a 2% dividend rate and a 6% growth rate. Again, so we still have that same 8% total return. But what this is going to do is allow us to draw even more from our RSPs every year. So again, we have $9,600 CPP income, but now if our dividend rate is only 2% on the $500,000 that he has in his non-registered account, we're only adding $10,000 to his income. So that leaves us with $70,000 that we can draw from his RSPs to hit our taxable income level of $90,000. It's going to be a little bit less down the road once he starts his OAS, but nonetheless, it's more money that we can draw on those registered accounts compared to the first scenario that we looked at. Because of this, Michael will have less money remaining in his RIF at the plan's end that is subject to the highest marginal tax bracket. So what's the difference? Well, in the first scenario we looked at, Michael is leaving a net estate of $3.57 million. And in the second scenario where we just made a slight adjustment to the portfolio, we're now leaving an estate of $3.73 million. So that's an increase of $160,000. Now, we don't need to overhaul Michael's entire portfolio if he likes using a dividend approach. We can simply buy those types of investments in his RSP or in his TFSA because they're not going to be subject to tax every year. And in his non-registered account, we target the more growth-oriented investments because that's going to keep his yearly income as low as possible, which is going to allow us to draw more from those registered accounts to pay less tax at the plan's end. If you'd like to make sure that your investment strategy is in line with your withdrawal strategy, then check us out at transcanadawealthmanagement.com.